Okay. So, welcome back to the session. And basically, when we talk about Rasa Shastra alchemy, what we are basically talking about is mercury, which is rasa capable of absorbing, and Rasendra is nothing but being the supreme of all Maharasas. So basically, you can say that your mercury is basically the Rasendra. Another name is called for mercury is called Parada. So that's why the third one, Parada, means that we can use mercury to pull out people from sludge of diseases. Means mercury can bring you out of any diseases, purified one, okay, and a smaller quantity. And Lord Shiva in mythology says that is told that mercury is part of Shiva. And why it is? Because mercury is the semen of Lord Shiva, and sulfur is the menses of goddess Parvati. So basically, when you have mercury and sulfur together, which is called Kajali, it can give you a different level of therapeutic use. So that's why more than mercury, they try to give Kajali, which is mercury plus sulfur, because it is nothing but Shiva and Parvati. Basically, it is a synonym. It doesn't mean that Lord Shiva semen is mercury or Parvati is menses is sulfur. It says the characteristic wise, you can say that it is a combination of two vital energies. That's how any life force comes, right? Semen with and menses is what, when together, can give birth to life. So basically, that's why they just connect with Shiva and Parvati, nothing but mercury and sulfur. So the compact union of mercury and sulfur is always creative, which is called Kajali. And you can see some of the Vedic texts clearly say sulfur is said to be the menstrual fluid of Parvati. Abraka is Shukra. Then it is also told that some of the medicines are beneficial for eyes and relieves so and so things, which is nothing but I'm talking about the ferrous sulfate on the top. So I'm just trying to give you a glimpse of, these are coming from some of the Vedic text. As you can see, the Vedic text, Abraka, Maika, it says that the Vedic text clearly says, or the Rasa Shastra says that Abraka is the essence of Shukra of Parvati. After menses, there is also something called Shukra of Parvati, and that is nothing but Maika. So if you take mercury, sulfur, and Maika, basically you understood now. Shiva, Parvati, and Parvati's two aspect is there in Maika and sulfur. So that's why it can reduce Vata Pitta, the mica. It can also, strengthen the intellect, eradicate diseases. It is a good aphrodisiac. It strengthens the lifespan and cure. So I'm just showing you that so that there's in the Vedic text on the above, so that you don't read it as someone in 20th century made this translation or made this statement. These are not statements from any of the Ayurveda doctors. These are from very old, age-old books of Vedas, which some of these books are termed as Rasa Vaidya books and things like that. And if you see in the bottom, it clearly says mercury and sulfur or mica, which is Shukra of Parvati. Either you can add Shukra of Parvati or you can add, menses of Parvati to mercury. And that gives a creation, and that is called Hara Shiva, which is Gauri Parvati, which is nothing but Kajali in Rasa Shastra. So the potency of that is like that mercury, which can give a new life to your bodies. And also, as you see some of the examples there, which is about some skin disease, Shilajit can work great. Some of the pyrite, which I talked about, iron pyrite or copper pyrites, it has minerals which is capable of eradicating a lot of diseases, and it can be things. So these are coming from those. And Uparasa, Sadharana Rasa, we will talk about it. But these are the English translation of some of those Vedic texts. And coming back, the focus on Rasa, which is mercury, it is known to contain all the 6 tastes. It has 13 Agnis within it. It is a gross digestive fire, and there's a subtle Agni within mercury. And so there are so many forms of like that. And if you see some of the example we are talking about, like treating a calcinal spur, one would look at for a herb which works on both Ashti Agni and Prithvi Agni. So there are a lot of these, translations like this. So in not only in Rasavai thing, as I told you, this was there in Unani, it was there in homeopathy. Homeopathy came very later, right? So these guys make homeopathy pretty much would have derived from these, but Buddhist, Tibetans, all these Chinese emperors were all using that. So even Greeks were using it. So basically, this goes back to all ancient civilizations had knew this and they were using it. And I told you Mercury, which is semen of Shiva, is also called Parada, or also it is called Maharasa. So basically, it has special importance, as I told you, and it has the ability to assimilate all the drugs. It can, if you start, mixing Mercury with other dhatus and upadhatus, it can just absorb all of that. So that is the power of Mercury. It can absorb all other things. That's why it is called Shiva. Shiva can absorb the whole world. So Mercury is given his name because of its absorption of or ability to swallow every metal into them. And example is clearly this is one beautiful line you should always I should read. Okay, so basically it says that if a vegetable is unstable, they decompose, and if a vegetable is boiled in lead vessel, it would be submued, means it can get absorbed into lead. And if lead has to be can be submued into tin, and tin can be submued into copper, and copper can be submued into silver, and silver can be submued into gold, and gold is swallowed by mercury. Means the chain system of metals, at the end of the day, all this can be absorbed into mercury. So that's why it is called mercury is the ultimate thing. So this is another Sanskrit term which clearly says that there are three types of treatment. Either you can give Devi Chikitsa, which is about divine treatment. You can give human treatment or devil treatment, or you can give this churnas and bhashmas, which is called Manushi and Kshara, or Asuri type of treatment. So basically, all this probably will come under Asuri type of treatment. But Vedic texts add even treatments how you can, if someone has a more mental issue, they can even look at divine treatments of Devi Chikitsa or Manushi Chikitsas. And there is black magic and other things. There is something called Asura Chikitsa. And for body, you have this Asuri type of treatment or things like that. So I'm just saying the width and vastness of books in the Vedic books, that they have medicine, they have every kind of solutions there. And if you go back to there in Rasa Shastra, there's another section of book called Tarangini. So Tarangini is all about talking about the importance of processing mercury and sulfur, which is sulfur is called Gandhaka, and mercury, as I told you, is called Parada. When Gandhaka and Parada mixed, is called Kajali. That is the ultimate medicine. And I'll show you some of those details now. Basically, Rasa Shastra Tarangini, in a continuation, it says that when mercury and sulfur, which is Kajali, it can treat all general diseases. It can eliminate all major disorders. It can enhance fertility. It can increase energy, and it can treat remaining disorders, and many type of wonders can be done. So Kajoli, now you understood what is Kajoli. Now whenever I use Kajoli, don't get confused, just mercury and sulfur, nothing but Shiva and Parvati. And when you use this, it is, as I told you, mercury is considered the seed of Shiva, semen, sulfur is the essence or secretion of Parvati, and then to put together is called Kajoli. This, I think we talked about some of the Shodhanam and all this earlier. So that's why I'll skip this. And getting into Rasa Shastra in detail now. Purification Shodhana we all did. We talked about Marana, Mardana is all about part of some of the purification process. Overall, to summarize, all metals go through 4 levels of purification: detoxification, incineration, extraction, and change of state from solid to liquid. And that's why it is safe to have Bhashmas provided manufacturer have followed properly all these steps. And some of the other reasons why they process it with herbal is basically metals in Ayurvedic term is told that they do not have any senses, but plants have senses. So when they mix or treat metal with herbs, it the metals get senses. Sense means it kind of, so it is called from Nirinadriya to Sinidriya. So which is means you're converting from no senses to with senses by treating metal with the herb. So this is the important aspect, that most of your bhashmas are treated with some of the herbs to make it more potent, or to make it more uh, with more senses into it. So the details are there. I will not get into that, but this is how any crude mineral is converted into bhashma. And it is also called in Tibetan medicine called zuatai. And finally, byproducts or purified process are comes out. And when these are taken into your body, your drugs, your liver is the one which converts this into uh, therapeutic use in your body. It can then convert into blood. From blood, it can go to other organs, or it can go into your intestine. If it is part of your, if liver doesn't absorb. So some of these can get assimilated in your body, in your intestine, or via liver and blood, from blood to organs. So that's the whole physiology of how these bhashmas can help. And how this becomes nano is basically most of the bhashmas are treated with fire or treated with heat. So when you do a heating of any mineral, it breaks down to nanoparticles. That's why some of these are easy to absorb to your body. And there is something called Rasakalpa, because basically in Rasakalpa, it says that you must look at the power of diseases and its stages. And then the power of those patients, Agni, then patient's economic situation. Based on that, they also give you something called Rasakalpa. But important to remember is that these should not be given to children who are too young, or overdose should not be given. Just try to keep it as and when necessary. Keep it all, even when your usage should be nano level. Just a tip of your finger is enough to absorb that kind of thing. So typically, don't overdose. Only give it when it's required. That's why it is told to young kids don't give it, because they might be not able to absorb it. Nothing wrong giving it. It's just that they might not be able to take that load. If they are little mature, or if they are diseases, it becomes imminent to give. So classifications will come now. We talked about at a very high level, metals, feathers, shells, all that. So all these are categorized into either rasa, maharasa, uparasa, sadharana rasa, dhatus, upadatus, ratnas, uparatnas, and upavisas. So basically, all the chalcopyrite, iron pyrite is all called maharasas. Uparasas are nothing but the sulfur, iron, all those kind of things. Sadharana rasas are nothing but your kaude, red oxide of mercury, and things like that. Danta Varga is nothing but your gold, silver thing. Ratna Varga is called ruby and things like that. So they use little different version of names. This is more simplistic to understand. Out of all this, the rasa is mercury, parada. Maharasas are mica, iron pyrite. Uparasas are sulfur and thing. Sadharana rasas are some of these ammonium chloride and things like that. Dhatus, main thing is, we talked from the starting that dhatus can play a lot of role in your thing. So just try to keep dhatu bhashmas, basically gold, silver, copper, iron, lead and tin, zinc and mercury. If this you have, this bhashmas, more or less you can treat yourself for most of the diseases. And you don't have to worry a lot about maharasa or uparasas. Just keep 5 dhatus bhashmas in your home, and take the ultimate rasa, mercury with the sulfur, which is called kajoli and also called other names. I'll show you those names. So if you keep dhatus with one of the combination of Shiva Parvati is good enough for more or less most of your treatments. And the way to look at that name is, if you want gold bhashma, say Swarna bhashma. If you want silver bhashma, you have to, Ayurvedic name is Rajata bhashma. If you want copper, it is called Tamra Bhashma. Iron, it is called Loha Bhashma. Lead is Naga Bhashma. Tin is Vanga Bhashma. So similarly, there are other Upadatus, which is called Abraka, Mica, which we talked about. It is also one of the Parvati's thing. Mica is after Mercury and sulfur. The next good thing as per Vedic text is Mica. And if you see what is Mica called, Abraka Bhashma, then copper pyrite, iron pyrite is good. Apart from copper and iron, they have other chemicals or minerals which are good for your body. If you see copper pyrite, as per copper, it has even Fe, iron with it, and some of the S aspects of it. Similarly, iron pyrite has iron plus S. Copper sulfate also will have copper with other SO and H2O in it. So that's why some of the other, are a mix of quite other minerals. So that's why, sometimes pyrites make sense. If you want multi-mineral, multi-metal, you go for copper pyrite, iron pyrite, or any other things like that. So as I told you, sulfur is called Gandhaka. Gandhaka sulfur with mercury, Parada is the ultimate medicine. And we will see how it is. And apart from Sadhana Rasa also, we are just giving you some chemical names. Apart from this, Ratnavarga. So basically, you knew it that gemstones are good for your body also, apart from wearing it. So basically, if you want ruby for your body, you can go buy Manikya Bhashma. So Manikya Bhashma, from a chemical aspect, it has Ai2 and O3. But if you want pearl also, which is good for your body, you can buy Mukta Bhashma, which has calcium and CO3. And so similarly, all this cat's eye is one of the Vaiduria. So Vaiduria is nothing but an emerald or gems called cat's eye. It has BuAl2 and O3. Those are some of the minerals which are there in it. So gems are always a combination of minerals. That's why I'm just giving you the chemical formulas there. If someone is good in chemistry, they can better tell me what is Ca, CO3. Ca is usually calcium, CO3 could be something else. So any of these medicines, you can be very scientific. You can look at the chemical composition and understand when you take borax, you are getting Na2, B4, and all these minerals into your body. So every, all these are quite extensively used. Borax plays a big role even in plants and in humans. Gypsum is also, goat tea is also very good for body. It has calcium, SO4, H2O, and things like that. So basically, there is, other category called Sikta Varga, which is drugs like silica, magnesium, and water. So basically, we don't get magnesium in a full, just magnesium. So there is something called Dugada Pashana, which is magnesium silicate, or a silicate of magnesium is called Kaushaya Shama. So the problem is when you're taking these medicines or these minerals, you just have to know Sanskrit name because all the products are pretty much published in Sanskrit name. So Rasa Shastra medicines is where we now start on some of these medicines, how they are represented in some of the thing. So as I told you, shells are quite widely used. Most of the shells have calcium. Apart from that, it has other effects on your body. If you see Shanka, Shanka has basically is used for diarrhea, ulcer, and acidity. Apart from calcium, if you take something called oyster shell, which is called Shukti Bhashma, so it can help you a lot in some of your, basically kidney stones, stomach acidity. Black salt we talked about, it can help you in some of heart disease and bloated stomach and things like that. So Kajali now is the biggest one. So Kajali is nothing but mercury with sulfur. So basically Shiva and Parvati is one form. The ultimate medicine is called Kajali, but on product names they are put different. I'll show you that. There is also Bhashma called Gandhaka, which is nothing but sulfur, purified sulfur. There is something called purified mercury, Rasakarpura. There are different names to it, but I'm just showing you some of the names. Iron Loha Bhashma, Mandura, which is iron orex thing. So iron has two forms here. Either if you give iron, pure iron, it can help in gallbladder, kidney stones, and things like that. But if you give an iron ore oxide, it can help in enlarged spleen, enlarged liver. So for enlarged spleen and enlarged liver, instead of taking iron Bhashma, you take iron ore oxide Bhashma, which is Mandura. So Mandura is still a better version than Loha or iron Bhasma. So just the difference is iron oxide, this is iron ore oxide. So there is, as you can see, there are different forms of iron Bhasmas also, and a mix of different metals like I talked about Kajali. So always remember Kajali. I talked about some of the gemstones. So this the Manashila Bhasma, which is purified relgar, is a natural gemstone powder. It is a strong antitoxin, anti-poison. So if someone is has poisoned have exposure to poisons, they can use this purified relgar, which can help them to detox some of the poisoning. Okay, so then you have alum. Alum has been used from a lot of time. A lot of people know it is called Sputica carica. Sputica carica is also used in one of the to stop bleeding and other you know purpose. It also can be used in scabies, ringworm, and things like that. So basically, there are other metals which I talked about: tamra, vanga, ishada, and all those things. Shilajit is also one of the rock mineral which is highly used. But you're not getting pure form of Shilajit. That is the reason why people have problems using this. So get into the products. This is how all the Bhashmas are, the kind of let me share back my screen. Okay, as you can see this, all the Bhashmas which I talked about basically has this, Hiraka Bhashma or Spatika. So how it looks, different brands have different labeling, but most of it has similar name, but some have variations. We look at those variations now. I told the ultimate medicine in Rasa Shastra is the combination of mercury and sulfur. So this one, which we call Kajali in Vedic text, is called Rasa Sindhuram in Kotakalam. So basically, Rasa is nothing but mercury. Sindhuram. So basically, mercury Sindhuram is what they call here. And as I told you, if you see the ingredient, it says Sutam. Instead of Parada, they use another Sanskrit one name called Sutam, which is mercury. And they have sulfur, which is Gandhakam. And they treat this with a herb called aloe vera. So that's why this is the ultimate medicine. We have done some trial runs. It's pretty promising that the Rasa Sindhuram from Kotakalam is a good quality, and we have seen some therapeutic effect as soon as people have taken this. So I would say if you want to take this Shiva Parvati combination of powerful medicine, go for Arya Vaidya Shala's Rasa Sindhuram, which is nothing but Kajali. Similarly, Kotakalam has one other version called Suvarna Vangam. So basically, it has Rasa Sindhuram, which is mercury and sulfur. They have added lead, which is Vangam. So that's why they say Suvarna Vangam. Vangam is added. Suvarna means here they are saying a combination of mercury and sulfur, which was nothing but Rasa Sindhuram. So now you understand how they make one product and add one more metal and a bit translate the name. So Vangam is kept because they have added, the lead into it. And Suvarna, they are saying nothing but they could have made it more simpler, like Rasa Sindhuram Vangam. But they will try to term it like this. Now, if you see, they have one more combination called Vatagajana Shura. So basically, they have added Kajali or Rasa Sindhuram, which is mercury and sulfur. Instead of like last time they added tin, they have here added iron with chalcopyrite. So basically, this is the combination here. So that's why what I'm saying is when you get into this medicines, just get into ingredients. If you understand mercury and sulfur is the ultimate medicine, and iron what will help. So basically, if you see this combination, mercury and sulfur will help you in the overall any disease can cure kind of thing. Iron will help you on your blood and liver. Chalcopyrite has other characteristics which can help on the thing. So if you look at some of the medicinal properties, you will understand. So just always don't look at the label name, look at the ingredient name. So if you see this guy in Kottakalam, they have Vasanta Kusumakara Rasam. So basically, they have added gold, and they have added, as usual, mercury, but no sulfur in it. So they don't have Shiva Parvati combination, but they have Shiva in it, mercury. They have added lead, tin, silver, and gold. So basically, silver and gold, like you can say, major dhatus are inside this. So basically, this is a dhatu package. Means you have all the major dhatus: gold, silver, tin, lead, iron. Okay, and they've added a bit of coral, which has calcium, mica, which is also an aspect of Parvati. I wanted to bring in this gemstone because Talaka Bhashma is nothing but Relger. Earlier you saw different names to it, but Relger is arsenic sulfide or ruby sulfur. So basically it's a ruby. And as I told you, it can be used for a lot of things. And if you see the product names from Kottakalam and some other Ayurveda, they put it like this. They put Talaka is a purified Relger. Talaka Bhashma from Kottakalam says that they foresee this as to solve skin diseases, all this asthma, cough, and things like that. So Kajali, see, I told you about Rasa Sindhuram was the name in Kottakalam, but if you see this Ayurveda product, they have called as Rasa Parpita, Parpati. So Rasa is mercury, mercury Parpati. Basically, Rasa Sindhuram is what is called in Kottakalam. Here, this guy calls it as Rasa Parpati, basically having same thing, mercury and sulfur, but the preparation is little different from Bhashma, so that's why it is called Parpati. But here also it's called Rasa Parpati, there it is called Rasa Sindhuram. So there they do it in a different format or thing, it's called Sindhuram, here it is called Parpati. But both are called Rasa, Rasa means mercury. So this is the way you can keep a tab on the names, and we will demystify what is Parpati. If you see, mercury also is used for Mugdha Rasa, which is used to keep in the grains. So basically they keep even, you can safeguard your grains with mercury. So it is not edible. The Mugdha Rasa is not edible. This is used for safeguarding your grains. If you keep this in your grains, it will not be attacked by any grain destroyer. So similarly, if you see Baidyanath, they have something called Arogya Vriddhini. But if you see the content, they basically say it has Kajali. So here is the only one who has used Kajali as the word. But if you see other two products, they told Rasa Sindhuram or Rasa Thing. They never use the word Kajali. But in Baidyanath, they are using the word Kajali, which is Arogya Vriddhini contains Kajali. Kajali means mercury and sulfur. And they have added Loha, which is iron, Abraka, mica, and they have added copper. So basically all these medicines are just pure metals with some herbs to treat that. So similarly with the, Vriddhi Vadika is nothing but Kajali. See, here they have used the word Kajali. So Kajali means you got it right. I'm just repeating so that it goes into your mind that you don't forget what is Kajali or what is Rasa Sindhuram. Rasa, anything starting with Rasa or anything starting with Kajali is all about mercury with sulfur. So this medicine has the ultimate medicine as well as iron, tamra, kansha, shanka, kavde. Kavde is called kapradika. So similarly, if you see Arogya Vriddhini from Patanjali, these guys have used most of these metals or dhatus, and they have added a lot of herbal into it. So it's a mixture of herbal and metal. So this is a better proportion of herbals. Before it was more a majority of proportion of metals. So similarly, Leela Vilasa Ras. So basically, he clearly calls out in Baidyanath Kajali. So he says Kajali is there, mercury and sulfur. He has mica, copper, and iron. And they say when you add Kajali with mica and copper and iron, liver tonic is iron. Hyperacidity and all that can be helped through copper and mica, and overall health can be taken care by mercury. So now you understood liver tonic means iron is added. For hyperacidity and other things, you can, mica and copper can aid them. So similarly, Patanjali has more cheaper version of these. they keep these names like Trivanga Bhashma. So Trivanga is nowhere written in Rasa Shastra typically. Nothing but a combination. Trivanga means three. Three is lead, tin, and zinc combination is called Trivanga Bhashma. And similarly, there is a combination called Kulya Bhashma. Basically, they add pearl shell, cowday shell, and gypsum, and they also add silver. So this becomes antibiotic plus calcium kind of combination. So, and cowday and pearl not only is calcium, can help you in other things. So basically, silver is antibiotic. So if you take Kulya Bhashma, you know what is the ingredient, what all it can work with. It can work as a calcium supplement. It can work as an antibiotic. It can work on other organs based on cowday and pearl characteristics. Similarly, if you see Spatika is nothing but alum. So most of you know what you have been using, all our parents. So similarly in shells, I told cowday shell, pearl shell is called Kapradaka, or Mukta Shukta is called pearl shell. In iron, I told you three versions are there: iron red oxide, iron ferric sulfate, and iron. So I told you iron ferrous sulfate and iron red oxide are better versions than iron. And Baidana Chandrakala also they say, but if you go into the ingredient, they say Kajali. Kajali means, once again you got it, Tamra, Moti. Moti means pearl, thing, Apaka Bhashma. So now anything you just see, you can become easy. Now Parpati is similar like Bhashmas, but when they prepare it, it comes as a flakes. So flakes is called Parpati. So there are three versions of Parpatis, which is equivalent to Rasasinduram. So here it is called Rasa Parpati. Rasa Parpati means, Rasa means mercury, or Kajali is called here as Rasa Parpati. Parpati means a flake of iron, I mean mercury and things. So the middle one is more easier. It is very equivalent to Rasasinduram. They say Parpatis are better than Bhashmas because the way they are prepared, it makes it that Parpatis makes better sense. So Parpati means it's brittle, it disintegrates and gets into absorbed into small intestine. So another feature of Parpati is it can get into, see most of your medicines get absorbed in your liver or through stomach. But when you use Parpati, it can get into your small intestine rather than not in the stomach. So that's why if you want to deliver anything to your small intestine, take Parpati versions rather than Bhashmas. Okay, so we look at these three Parpatis and then give a break. I think we are once again losing time of my limited Zoom thing. So if you still want, we can connect back after this. So I'll close this in next 5 minutes and take some questions. And I still have slides, I guess. We can still move in for the if required for the rest of the slide. So basically, the Parpatis are three versions: Panchamrita, Shweta, and Rasa. Rasa Parpati is nothing but, Rasa means mercury. Mercury Parpati means they have added even the Parvati into it, which is, if you see Rasa Parpati, Gandhaka and Raupya and Swarna. And basically, Gandhaka and Parada is nothing but mercury and sulfur. They have added a bit of Swarna, Rupia and Swarna, but Rasa Parpati pretty much has Kajali in it. And it is a better form of Bhashma. And the other two, Panchamrit and Shweta Parpati, as sulfur, mercury, iron, mica, and this has alum. So basically, Shweta Parpati is more used on the directive or diarrhea kind of cases where alum, potassium, and any urinary problems. So all these chlorides, alum, and nitrates help them for any urinary problems. So Shweta Parpati, don't try it because it's quite not used for common problems. It is not used for overall health. So Parpatis you just can stick to Rasa Parpati. And all this have a few reasons why it is kind of created. I won't get into that details because it might get confusing for you people, but this is the simplest way to say how these Parpatis are prepared. Basically, if you see, they will take, they have added Kajali. Kajali means iron and sulfur. They heat it, mix it, and then make like a muddy kind of thing. And then, you can see how the flakes are done. So this is called Parpatis. It's pretty straightforward to make Bhashmas, but if you don't know properly and if you mess it up while preparing Bhashmas, it can be dangerous. So that's why it's better to learn under any trained or any experts, and then start making bashmas. But making bashman is not very difficult. You just have to understand the metal, source it, and then heat and process it. It's not much difficult. So a lot of people are now offering this, how to create your own bashmas. And Parpatis, I talked about. These are some of the contents, how things. So these are the other topics which I'll get in. I have still few more assorted slides. I have 2 minutes for this session. So if you're still interested, we can still continue this session after another a minute. Immediately you can join back so that we close for a Saturday evening thing. So I'll take your questions. Just join back in a minute so that I get another 40 minutes of session from Zoom. Okay, with that I'll end. Join back immediately. Thank you.